But tell me, just what is it that you want to do?
Well, we want to be free. We want to be free to do what we want to do. We want to be free to ride. We want to be free to ride our machines without being hassled by the man. And we want to get loaded. And we want to have a good time. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to have a good time. We're going to have a party.
Welcome to another shit show on the Bikers Lifestyle Podcast with your host, Dirty and Tank.
And she says recordings in progress. You notice we have like new little voices that pop in on everything. We got this Alexa shit, and your car can talk to you now. We got the computer telling us recording stop. People can, wasn't it in the 60s they were talking about Big Brother's watching you, and everybody was like, oh, we don't want that. We don't want cameras here and surveillance and everything. Now people are like buying devices like we talked about last week.
Right. We've turned our life over to technology. Everybody's fucking whole life is on their fucking phone. They can lock their doors. They can see if the lights are on. They can, turn on the fucking stove. They can fucking check the refrigerator.
I mean, their washing machine can tell them when their wash needs to go into the dryer.
It's, you got the Traeger grills. I mean, basically all you got to do is put pellets in it, put meat on it, and then boop, 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 boop. And then fucking next thing you know, your phone's cooking it for you. And it's like, hey, your food's done, man. Come out here and grab it off this slow cooker, smoker pellet thing.
Yeah.
It's like, lazy people are taking over the world. You know what I mean?
I mean, I've got this thing called a sous vide cooker.
Yeah.
And it looks like a little fryolator, but you take your food and put, your spices or whatever you want in with the food, like your protein. Oh, it does vegetables pretty good. Then you vacuum seal it inside, right? And then it goes down into this water bath, and then it's called an immersion circulation heater, and so it basically heats the food. And you like if I want my chicken to be 145 degrees, I set the temperature for 145 degrees, and it can cook in an hour. I can have it sit there for 10 hours at 145 degrees, and food's going to be perfect. It's never going to get any hotter than 145 degrees. And like all the spices and shit that you put in with the chicken, they trade places with the salts, the natural salts that are in the protein, and you get all the flavors like sucked into the meat. So so again, I mean, I'm a chef, but you got you can cook it perfectly, and then it's computerized. It tells you when to take it out, what to do. I mean, where's that leave us, man?
I don't know. Well, welcome back, everybody, to the Bikers Lifestyle Cooking Corner with Tank.
Yeah.
And his sous chef, Dirty.
So you saw the picture I sent you this week of the rear tire I took off the bike, huh?
Yeah, you fucking did a good one on that one, huh?
Yeah. The thing
Shout out to Metzler, by the way, for making a tire that automatically just falls the fuck apart out of nowhere.
And it happened to do it all in the same area, like the same 1 foot section. I had a lot of tread left too.
Well, they don't make them like they used to, I suppose.
The thing was, man, is I heard it. I was up in Jacksonville at that event, 250 miles away, and I heard it. I heard chunkage start to come off. It's like clicking under the fender and shit. And I'm like, I pulled over at a rest area, at a rest stop, rather to get gas. And the little voice in my head said, "Don't look at it. Don't look at it. There's still air in the tire. Don't look at it. Don't look at it. Just
ignorance is bliss.
Ignorance is bliss, man." So I said, "I'm just gonna fucking send it." And rode the rest of the way home, in the rain, 80, 85, 90,
Sure. Yeah.
And then, I knew I had to change the tire. I got that thing off, and I sent you that picture, and I was like, holy crap, I had no idea it was that bad. I mean, I was down through the second set of cords, on the one spot.
Hey, you got your money out of it, I suppose. I mean,
I got over 10,000 miles on that back tire.
There you go.
So shout out to Metzler 888s,
Yeah. The 888s. Everybody fucking runs them. Everybody loves them. So
okay, hit me with it. Let's hear it.
Oh no, I mean, somebody had brought to our attention that we should talk about a topic because it doesn't get talked about a whole lot. I agree. It's a good topic. And, it kind of, well, it's more about propaganda. Not all propaganda is the same. There's good, there's bad, there's whatever. But, the propaganda that every single biker is a hard partying, hard charging, hard living, badass motherfucker from around the way.
Pulling
That's
a crime
propaganda.
a day.
Huh?
Pulling a crime a day.
Right. And, you
At
look at
least
that, you look at the Hollister event back in the day,
Oh God, yeah.
what do? They take a dude and they stick a beer bottle in his hand and they put a whole bunch of beer bottles around his bike. So from the early days, drinking and partying and being a biker has gone hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
However, me and you well know that not everybody that lives this biker lifestyle is a hard drinking, hard partying motherfucker. There's a lot of sober people in this world. You don't necessarily have to be a hard partying, badass motherfucker to do this shit. You can be sober and still be down to ride and be down for brotherhood and be down for loyalty and all the other happy shit that goes along with this lifestyle.
Yeah.
So, seeing as how you're the sober one on this podcast, why don't you tell us what it's like being a sober biker in a drunken hellscape that is the biker's lifestyle?
Well, we got to talk a little about how I got there, right?
Please.
I wasn't always a sober biker.
No.
In fact, I drank a lot. I didn't just drink my share. I drank yours too, and the 4 or 5 listeners that are watching. When I quit drinking, I was at I'd go through about 1.75 of bourbon every other day.
Wow.
And that was on top of the beer that I was drinking. And at club events, I'd drink, I'd party, but what you guys didn't know that I was hiding from you was I was going home and drinking copious amounts of booze, on the home end too. It's interesting. It was tough at first when I first quit. I stayed away from the scene. I'd go to stuff at the clubhouse. I'd go to club events. I didn't miss a church.
Right.
I stayed, I did my duties as an officer and I did what I had to do, but I wasn't going out to the bars. I wasn't doing the late night stuff. It was hard in the beginning. It really was hard to be around it. And, after now I'm 2.5 years in sobriety and yeah, it's not hard anymore. I don't think about it. It's not calling to me. It's actually given me a whole new clarity and it's actually helped out on my wallet too. Of course, I discovered non-alcoholic beer, which evidently alcohol doesn't cost any money at all. It's the water that costs and the flavoring. It's not the alcohol. The alcohol apparently is free because the beer is the same amount as it was if it had fucking booze in it. So, go figure.
I've noticed that alcoholic beer or non-alcoholic beer is about the exact same price, sometimes even more.
Sometimes
than
even
the
more.
Alcoholic version.
Yeah. It is.
So, what's the biggest hurdle to cross? Is it the psychological aspect of it where you feel like you're not having as much fun as you used to have? Or is it more of the temptation factor where you're fine when you're not around guys that are drinking, but as soon as you get around the boys and we're fucking throwing back some, you're like, man, I kind of want to be part of that again.
You hit on every bit of it right there, brother. There's many times when, hell yeah. We're out there in Kentucky and you guys are getting a really good bottles of bourbon and you're drinking away, and I'm like, God damn it. You're getting some great bourbon. I was a big bourbon guy. I'd love if I could taste this, but I made that pact with myself that I wouldn't go back. That whole, cirrhosis of the liver, pending death, yellowing of the eyes, jaundice thing, that probably, contributed to it. But yeah, all the temptation was there. This past summer when Chop was killed, we all got hit with that pretty hard.
Yeah.
And I sat probably about right where you're at, right there at that bar. I was by myself down there at the clubhouse. And I even grabbed that big bottle of Ezra Brooks down off the bar and set it down in front of me. Is it still there?
I don't know, it might be.
But you know, that
Yeah,
was
I don't know
my,
why people think fucking drinking and bikers are one and the same. I don't know what's going on over here, but
yeah. Oh well. I remember sitting that thing right in front of me and then looking at it. I stared at it for a good long 5 minutes and thought a lot about it. And then I was like, no, man, again, you know, it's a promise I made to myself. I'm not going to go through the hell of not drinking again. Because that week of getting off the booze was tough. I mean, DTs is a real thing, man.
yeah, no, it alcohol. What is it? Alcohol and it's benzos are the only two things that will kill you if you try to quit cold turkey 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, ask Amy Winehouse, right? Yeah. Well, wait, that's right. She died from, you know.
We need a fucking
quit
one of them
drinking.
fucking Ouija boards to fucking do that. But
Yeah, I mean, it
Yeah.
was the second stage of it too.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, you really need to go to the hospital. You need to be under professional care when you stop drinking. I didn't. That's never been my style, and it was hell. It really was. It was tough. I don't know how close I was, but you know, when they say you hallucinate, you do. You see shit, and it's not like, you know, hey, you know, we're like, you know, at a Pink Floyd concert and it's really really cool and there's like a giant thing flying around in the air. It's like little buggy type things just right in the corner of your vision. You know, these sort of trailers that you see, and then you kind of feel them on you a little. You know, and but
Yeah.
getting back, I mean, yeah, you know, God, we go to bars, everybody has a good time. I still have a good time. It's just it's different for me. You know, I mean, I still have the devil's lettuce, you know, and we'll
Well, you're California sober.
yeah, there you go. So I mean, yeah, it's different. I mean, do I wish that I would be able to partake and then party right along? Sure. You mean, but then, you know, that doesn't define who I am right now. And you know what I mean? There's been many times I've been in clubhouses. I mean, 1% of clubhouses, and guys, where in the movies they'll depict it. You know, guy, hey, I want to buy you a drink. You know, so well, I don't drink anymore. You know, you can buy me a soda. Oh, I'm buying. You're gonna have this, or I'm gonna kick your ass. It doesn't work that way, because I know plenty of 1%ers that don't drink too.
Well, that's just it. I mean, I've actually met more. How do I put this? I have met more 1%ers that don't drink than I have non 1%ers that are in the motorcycle club world that do.
Yeah.
But I mean, that don't. You know what I mean? Like you have to understand, and I mean not you, but people who are listening.
The people who are listening.
All 8 of you right now, right? Because you know you're gonna see the title of this video and it's gonna say something about sober biking, and you're gonna fucking get right. You're gonna fuck you. You know, we want to hear about fucking gunfights and titty bars. And like, not every episode can be that, but you know, it's like,
but you know,
well, yeah, but you know, I mean, and I'm not spilling the beans here, but 1%ers, they go pretty hard in the paint. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody knows that. I'm not fucking telling anybody that. I'm not telling anybody anything they don't already
know. This isn't an exclusive. Yeah.
They go hard in the paint. And at the end of the fucking day, we're all human beings. Once you start going hard in the paint, that fucking hourglass fucking, it starts fucking shooting sand at the bottom quicker than normal. And these guys aren't stupid. They could see it. And they start saying, fuck, man, I got to slow the fuck down. I got to quit drinking. I got to do this. I got to do that, you know, because the human body can only take so much.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, obviously, you know, your mileage may vary. You know, some guys can drink like a fucking fish and it doesn't bother them. And other guys end up in fucking the hospital with fucking cirrhosis. You know, I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, I've met a lot of sober 1%ers. I've met a lot of guys that are, you know, on the outside, they look rough and tough and they look like they can fucking take on the world. And they're like, yeah, I quit drinking because it got away from me and it fucked me up.
Well, you just hit on it right there. And you hit both extremes. You're talking about guys that, you know, when we're younger, well, hell yeah. You know, I mean, we're hell raising, we're, you know, drinking and not even caring, and, you know, and keep lying to yourself that, well, hell, I ride my motorcycle better when I'm drunk than I do when I'm sober. And you're saying all those things, and you go and you go and you go and you go and go, but it's a one-way street, and it happens over time, and you don't realize it. I didn't realize it. I didn't realize how bad I was. You know, I fucking hit rock bottom, man, and I was down there for a little bit, and it took me a while to realize that I was down there at rock bottom. I didn't know where the fuck I was for a while. And then once it dawned on me and I realized where I was, then I was able to, said to myself, well, if anybody's going to unfuck you, it's going to be you. I'm not looking for a 12-step program. I don't need it. I don't need AA. I don't need somebody to tell me how my feelings are. That's just me. When I do something, I set my mind to it and I'm done. And I was done with booze and I walked away from it.
Well, to be fair, I mean, if you're the kind of person that does need that thing, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, that's fine. I mean, everybody needs help, from time to time.
Exactly. Well, I'm just saying what works for me. That's my mileage.
Right. But it's like not everybody needs the same kind of help, I mean, you might be the strongest guy in the world and you could pick up anything heavy, but you also might be so fucking weak in the mind that you need to talk to somebody about your problems, because otherwise you're going to snap and do something stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, we're all human beings. We're all trying to fucking get by and have a good time while we're doing it. But, at the end of the fucking day, you don't have to be a drunk to be a part of a biker scene.
No.
Whether it's a motorcycle club or just dudes hanging out, you don't have to be a drunk. You don't have to be this hard partying dude, because liquor and drugs and all that shit is just lubricant to something that you're already involved in.
Yeah.
So if you can get by with not doing it, well, then you're ahead of the game, in my opinion, because you don't need the additive of all this other shit. Because it's all about riding motorcycles and brotherhood, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So if you can do all that without, drinking or doing drugs or whatever, then good on you.
I mean, brother, when you're running in a pack and we don't run like normal, we're the, the typical, 3-piece patch motorcycle club, and we're going a little faster than most.
Yeah.
We're riding tight, we're riding handlebar to handlebar, and we're tearing it up, I mean, we're leaving some rubber on the road. You got to kind of have your wits about you when you're doing that. And if you're so sloshed, man, and you reach that point where you're just like completely pickled yourself, I don't want you in the pack with me.
Look, let's face facts. There is a handful of fucking funerals we have to go to because the guy had too much, fucked around, found out on his bike.
That was just this past month. Yeah.
This past month, this past year, this past
how
2 years,
how many have we gone
3
to?
years.
I know. Yeah. That's true.
I mean, it happens more frequently than I think people actually want to admit.
Yeah.
That guys will go down because they had too much to drink and they lost control and they fucking died. And we've been in those ABATE meetings where they fucking talked about it, that the number one cause of death on a motorcycle is drinking. They've said it. And I'm going to believe them because they do all that statistic shit and they're fucking biker nerds and they're fucking into that kind of thing. And okay, cool. I believe you. So how do we combat it? Well, I don't know. How do I cut a guy off? How do I sit down here and bartend or whatever? And I know a guy's fucking having too much. And I'm like, hey man, you got to fucking chill out. Because let's be honest, in the motorcycle club scene, we're all alpha males, right? None of us want to be told what to do.
That's right.
None of us are going to fucking listen to you if you try.
Yeah.
Right. So how do you do it? I don't know. But I think we need to start. I think we need to start taking a hard look in the fucking mirror, seeing who the fuck we are as a people.
We have now think about that. We pulled coil wires on people before. We've removed plug wires. We had one brother who's not in the club anymore at the old clubhouse. We surrounded his bike with cars. He couldn't get out.
Yeah.
And then, there's me and an enforcer standing around in the clubhouse. And he's wavering back and forth. And he takes out his brass knuckles and shows him to be like he's going to hit me. He's thinking he's being all Billy Badass. We both start laughing at him, trying to push him over the edge. But in the edge, if I could stay there, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, we do it. But I agree with you. We've got to do more. We wear a patch that says, I am my brother's keeper. And then finding where that line is when you've got to take that stance. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. And I almost think like the younger generation fucking gets that more than like my generation and your generation, because I meet a lot of younger dudes that ride that are not necessarily sober, but they're not necessarily drunks. You know, they'll have like a beer or two and then they're done.
Yeah.
You know, as where I'll meet dudes that are my age or a little older that'll go just as hard as humanly possible, and they'll be like, "Hold on, I'm gonna go in the bathroom, do a rail, and I'm good to go for the next 6 fucking hours." It's like, it's not gonna work out for you, bud. But all right, whatever, have fun. Sometimes, a lot of times it does, but when it doesn't, I'm putting a fucking memorial patch on the back of my vest. You know what I mean?
First time I dealt with it, I was had just graduated high school. Guy I went to high school with, he wrote an old Sporty, and that was what he was known for, and he was hitting it pretty hard. We were down shooting pool in the pool hall, me and a couple of friends. He was there, and he drunk. Nobody stopped him. We all thought it was cool. Nobody thought of it back then. They're talking 1980 here, and off he took off with the bike. And then I wake up the next day and found out that he nearly decapitated himself. 18 years old, and he went wide in a turn, went right to a fruit stand, and caught the steel shelf right here into his neck, dead instantly. So I mean, as bikers, I think you deal with death a little more than your like Kiwanis member or the guy in the Dart League.
Well, yeah, I mean, I got non-biker friends that when somebody dies that they know that it's like a car accident or something, and it's sudden, it devastates them. And they'll talk to me about it, like, man, that sucks. What are you gonna do? That sucks. And you're like, man, how come you exo calm around it? It's like, man, do you know how many fucking times a year I fucking get that phone call? Do you know how many times a year I fucking have to go to a fucking funeral because some dude fucking died?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I would say half of my summer is spent going to funerals.
Seems like it sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, that's just it. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. Sometimes it's even over half.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, on the average, I mean, we're our own worst enemy sometimes. When I say we, I mean like bikers and motorcyclists in general.
Oh yeah.
We're our own worst enemy. In fact, I was just talking to two of the hang-arounds we got, and I was like, here's the thing, man. You're gonna find out that there are multiple things that are going to come true if you continue on this journey. Number one, you may or may not become a full-blown alcoholic. Number two, you may or may not gain 20 fucking pounds because every single fucking biker event has fucking a smorgasbord of fucking food.
Worst fatty fucking food you ever. Oh yeah. We're not exactly serving kale
no
no
watercress sandwiches. No, it's all,
we're talking hot dogs and cheese whiz and chili and burgers and
exactly.
Yeah.
Italian beef with fucking,
fried cheese.
Exactly. Yeah, we're deep frying things. We're putting things in crock pots and slow cooking them with fucking spices, and yeah. So, and that's just how we live our lives, I mean,
a lot of temptations, brother. A lot of temptations.
I mean, we have chili cook-offs. We have pizza parties, taco parties. We have fucking all this shit that is, to the mainstream people of the world, not exactly healthy, but we live on it. And on top of it, it's in our culture to do a shot. Oh, bro, let me buy you a shot. Oh, let me get you a beer. It's in our culture to be unhealthy. It's in our culture to do everything to the extreme. We're going to party harder. We're going to eat fucking more. We're going to be the men of men, and we're going to fucking kick your ass while we do it. But at the end of the fucking day, we're probably not going to be around long enough to prove that we were right. You know what I mean?
That's how it
More
works,
times than not, it doesn't work out.
No. And you touched on something earlier. We were talking about A-Bait.
Yeah.
And, I've been with A-Bait for, a little over a decade. And in the beginning, A-Bait still had what they call the statewide poker run, where you got this book, and then, you went and you got your stamps and all the book. And Donna and I went out and one year, and I wanted to get a stamp from every bar. Ours was just regional. Like, we're not even talking to statewide. It was just our region area. And so we said, we're going to take 3-4 days. We're going to go out in the scoot. We're going to hit these bars up and get stamps in every bar. And I tell you what, we started drinking a lot of root beer and a lot of water and stuff because, like every third bar we'd get a drink. you know, and then it was like every fourth bar. I mean, I remember looking at it that first night going like, we got to stop this. Like if we're going to go and do this tour and get all these stamps in this book, we're going to be friggin' dead. Like, but ABATE took a stance. ABATE looked at that in Wisconsin over the years. And they said, you know, that we've got these, you know, think before you drink. There's a whole stack of them there in the bar, those little coasters that we have. You know, ABATE's big into that, you know, and they preached it for a long time. But then I've been to their state meetings. There they are. Yep. I've been to their state.
Can we see it? There we go.
Yep. Think.
And then on the backside.
On the backside, that's right. The ABATE logo. There we are.
There you go.
And I've been to their parties, you know, the statewide parties. I was an officer, for crying out loud, in the region. Still am. And you know, you go to these state meetings, and man, I mean, the booze is flowing. Let me tell you, people are getting pie-eyed drunk. They're getting dragged back into their hotel rooms. We're guzzling Everclear and moonshine, and they took a stance. They looked at it and they said, you know what, like, and they said the same thing you just said. We are our own worst enemy. And they said, if we want to be able to promote all this shit that we're preaching to other people, we better stop doing it ourselves. And so they made a point, and the state board went in and they said, nope, no more. We're not doing a statewide poker run anymore. We don't want to promote the poker runs through ABATE. We want to try to go a different path. So, you know, I mean, you're right. I mean, it's been an evolution, that's for sure.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've said it before. I'll say it again. This whole biker culture and this biker lifestyle is not exactly old, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about maybe 60, 70 years. You know what I mean? Yeah, I know there's guys that'll talk about, you know, oh, back in the day, there was motorcycle clubs, but they had sweaters and they did fucking hill climbs and all this dumb shit. That's not what we're talking about, because that's not what the fuck we're doing today. Okay. The shit we know of motorcycle clubs, as far as what we think of a motorcycle club, really is only about what, the 60s?
Yeah. 40,
you know
50 years old culture. Yeah.
Yeah, what are you talking, 50, 60 years?
I mean,
So-
Easy Rider, pretty much like the modern culture that we know it, the one that we embraced, Easy Rider.
Well, and that was 1969,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
So really, the World War II guys came home and they started raising hell, and they started, I don't know, setting a bar, if you will.
Well, I mean, they had a group called the Booze Fighters, for crying out loud.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know how they got their name. The guy said, well, you might as well call yourself the Booze Fighters, the way you guys fight with that bottle you got in front of you. And they
Right.
said, oh, the Booze Fighters, cool, you know. And I've met some Booze Fighters in Sturgis, some pretty cool dudes. But anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
exactly. And, you know, and then you have, you know, the 1950s, where if you greased your hair back and you were in the fucking motorcycles and this and that, that was enough to make you this subculture icon that most of society hated, because you weren't all about wearing a suit and buying a house in the fucking, you know, subdivision / suburbs, right? That was enough. And then Vietnam hit, the hippie era hit, the counterculture hit. Now all of a sudden everything's been amped up. So bikers, obviously, we're going to outdo whatever the fuck society's planning on doing. So we're going to get hardcore, right? And Vietnam vets, they need to be fucked with. Those guys have seen shit. So now bikers are getting harder and more hardcore. And then fast forward into the 80s, where everything's all about excess and everything's all about, you know, going to the extreme.
Wait.
Let's go to the extreme, because we're going to take it way past where you're more comfortable with.
There was a decade called the 80s. I don't remember it. I was fucked up beyond comprehension.
I've seen it in videos like VH1 or Netflix. Somebody played a thing. No,
Oh my God.
but
I think I
you know,
sorted
and
Peru up.
so there's this movie called Blow, and it's got Johnny Depp in it. No,
Well,
anyways,
actually, and you know what? That George guy, I actually met him. I had beers
Really?
with that guy in Cape Cod. Yes, sir.
Cape Cod.
Cape Cod. Let's not go down that
Shout out to
road.
Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Still putting it down. You know what I mean? He's down there by you in the Tampa Bay area.
Oh, yeah.
Just kicking ass and take it. Shout out to Tom Brady.
I like Tom. Big Tom
Yeah.
fan. Big Tom fan. Anyway,
Yeah, the Bikers Lifestyle. We support Tom Brady.
we do. Yeah.
You know why? Because he's older than me, and he's like a world champion. I fucking have to eat ibuprofen just to go get by during the day.
Guy's
You know
been
what
to
I
the
mean?
Super Bowl 10 times. He's got friggin' 7 rings, I think it is.
Fucking A, I gotta start doing more push-ups. I don't know what the fuck. I gotta do something.
And then his
How
wife's a
about
hot
Tom
model, who's a billionaire. I mean, you know, how can you hate Tom Brady? You know,
You can't hate Tom Brady.
No, you can't.
Sorry, you can't hate Tom Brady. I'm sitting
No.
here in Wisconsin where Aaron Rodgers isn't taking the vaccine and he's fucking getting the COVID and he's going on, you know, wherever and fucking talking shit. And everybody's like, yeah, Aaron Rodgers. But at the same time, Tom Brady, you know, 44 fucking years old or however fuck old he is.
Hey,
Fucking
44,
put
yeah.
it down. Yeah. Throwing touchdown passes, 600 fucking touchdown. I mean, Tom Brady, you know? All right.
Tom?
Back to what I was saying.
Squirrel.
Back to what I was saying. Yeah, I mean,
and now you got, you know, they hit the 90s. You got guys who are doing tours in Iraq and shit.
Well, yeah, 100 hours of hell. No, I get it.
Well, that was the first Gulf War. The second one, those guys in the 2000s. You know, that's guys got many tours.
Okay, yeah, but then exactly, yeah. You fast forward into the fucking, you know, post 2011 action guys.
Yeah,
those guys are seeing real shit. And they're coming back. They've got all sorts of fucking demons.
Yeah,
and
we know them.
Be quite honest. Let's be quite honest. Fucking the VA and PTSD and treatments, and you know, you got guys going on ayahuasca fucking retreats now and all this jazz. That's only like a few years old. Yeah. So that means there's about 15 years where they just fucking told those guys, hey, take these pills, you know, eat this Ambien, that'll help you sleep. Take these antidepressants, they'll help you and not want to kill yourself. Granted, none of it really worked, so guys started turning to the bottle. You know what I mean? And they started getting on motorcycles and they started fucking riding hard and kicking ass and taking names. So, I mean, we're living, in my opinion, through a renaissance age of motorcycling. You know, I know a lot of guys like to bitch about how dudes aren't the same as they were back in the day. Yeah, true. In some cases, they're harder. You know what I mean?
In some cases, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about a group of guys in their fucking 30s that are riding motorcycles and they're trying to live a lifestyle that is long gone. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, it is not the same. You know, we touched on it earlier in the beginning of the podcast. Hey, Alexa, find me this. Hey, Google, what's going on here? All this jazz. Everybody's got a goddamn fucking camera in their fucking pocket. Look at this fucking Kyle Rittenhouse fucking trial. There's fucking 20 different angles of every single fucking action that happened that fucking night. Yeah. You can't get away with fucking murder anymore. My point is,
well, if you're a politician, you can. But anyway,
shout out to the Bill Clinton.
Yeah, right. Hillary. Yeah.
Way to kick ass and take names.
That's right.
Anyways, my point is, like, these guys are fucking trying to do the same thing that their fucking forefathers did when they came out of fucking Vietnam, but they can't because technology is caught up, right? And not only that, but the culture is totally different. It is now completely okay for fucking people to act like little whiny girls and call the cops because somebody made you sad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no fucking... Everybody talks about toxic masculinity. Get the fuck, man. I'd settle for regular masculinity.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, true. Holy shit. I don't know how many fucking times some fucking 20-something who's basically a fucking twink comes out of the fucking woodwork to start talking shit to me. I get mad. He starts calling the cops. It's like, dude, what the fuck are you doing?
You got to quit running into Trevor, man. That motherfucker, I tell you.
Fuck that guy with his black frame glasses. That fucking gay.
Yeah, right.
No, I mean, but you know what I mean? It's like society has changed so drastically, but yet we're trying to live our lives like it's, you know, 69 again. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, that's the culture that we use as a basis for comparison. I mean, I know a lot of guys in A-Bait that lived through that. I know guys in A-Bait that were in the 70s that were riding the shovelheads that you know, they were part of all this. I mean, right. Look at Tony Pan Sanfilippo. I mean, probably one of the most well-known bikers out there. There's a reason they call him Pan, you know, because he likes panheads. But, you know, I mean, so these guys are still alive. And so,
exactly.
You know, to keep that culture, you know, it's still there and they're longing for it. But
and that's just my point. It's like you take a guy that's in his, like, say, early to mid 30s, right? Mm-hmm. And he's hearing about the stories that a guy like the Pan flip whatever the fuck his name is. Right? You know what I mean?
Tony Pan.
Yeah, Tony Pan. Fine, great. Anyways, you hear the stories what he's doing. You're like, man, I want to do that shit. But when Tony Pan was doing it, the world was completely fucking different.
Mm-hmm.
You can't go back.
No, you cannot.
And you're not going to change society. Society is bigger than us, bikers. It's bigger.
Oh, yeah.
We make up what? Like less than 10% of the people on the road? We make up
less than that, I'm sure.
I'm sure. But you know what I mean? Like we're a subculture of culture.
We are insignificant in part of the whole.
We're a blip on the fucking radar of the world.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The only thing we got going on for us is that most of society doesn't want to fuck with us because they think that we're fucking too hardcore to fuck with.
Well, it's because we live an iconic lifestyle.
Right. But my point is, it's like these guys in their, say, early 30s or whatever, mid 30s or whatever, who are hardened veterans, or not even veterans, but just hardened by life, right?
Yeah.
Trying to fucking relive a fucking past that doesn't exist anymore. I mean, yeah, they start drinking, they start acting hardcore, and society's going to slap them right in the dick. You know what I mean? Used to be back in the day, you get pulled over because you had a fucking DUI, you get thrown in jail, you pay a fine, and then that's it. Now it's like, well, now I got to go to court, I got to get a lawyer, I'm going to lose my license for a year, I got to get an interlock, I got to fucking do all this jazz. You know, you can't do what the guys in the 60s did, and you can't do what the guys in the 70s did. You know, society is caught up. Yes, however, if you're willing to figure out how to manipulate the system, meaning if you're willing to play by just enough of the rules where they don't notice all the bullshit you do on the flip side, you can get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's my point. Don't go out to the local fucking watering hole and get smashed and decide to fucking rev your fucking pipes off fucking 20, 30 times, do a wheelie in front of the fucking bar, and then fucking 90 miles an hour down the fucking residential street. Don't do that shit. You're going to draw attention to yourself.
Yeah. No, you know what you want to do is you want to leave and have me do something like that. And I'll be the decoy. I'll get pulled over. You know, that's what I'm do is when everybody goes to the bar, right? And then I'll be the one where the cops are sitting there waiting for you to leave, and then I'll come out staggering all over the place, you know, trying to get on the bike and everything, and take 20 minutes. It doesn't
at a decoy.
And do it as a decoy, have him pull me over, and then everybody else can leave, and then, you know, I'll be stone cold sober. And I mean, you know, it's a different thing. I tell you what, lad, you know, this past April when I dumped it in front of the Bradenton police, you know, for having, you know, and found out I had no registration on the bike, it was a pretty cool feeling. In the respect that I knew I didn't have to worry. You know what I mean? I wasn't drinking. You know, it was the first words out of my mouth. Hey man, I don't drink. And he was leaning in, you know, trying to see if he could smell alcohol in my breath. And, you know, I was like, you know,
You didn't tell him about COVID? 6 feet. 6 feet.
Right.
Is this cop vaccinated? Did you find out if this cop was vaccinated or not?
I really didn't give a fuck.
You gotta put your life in danger.
I really don't care. You know, you touched on a few things, man, and I look at it this way. You know, there's a double standard in this world, as we know. You could see it. You know, there's the elite, there's the people of influence that seem to get away with a lot. They can do a lot of things. They break a lot of laws. Apparently, laws don't mean too much anymore. And so, you know, I wasn't around when a lot of the laws were written, so I really don't feel that I necessarily have to follow them. And the fact that I don't drink anymore, so if I get pulled over, it's not that big of a deal. So I can just try to fly low under the radar, do whatever the fuck I want to do. You know, and it's kind of gives me a warm feeling, right? A warm fuzzy in my belly, you know.
No, I hear you. And it's, you know, and that's where we all have to fucking pull together and say, hey man, we can't be super fucking extra when we go out and mix it up with the local folk. You know what I mean? We can't go out to the bar and raise too much hell because the cops, and let's be honest, polite society is looking for a reason to fuck us over.
Oh God, yeah.
We are, and when I say we, I mean bikers in general. We are maybe, well, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to say it. Bikers are the last bastion of freedom.
One of, that's for sure.
No, we are.
Aren't one of a handful.
Who can fuck with us? Who else is as free as a biker? Or let me put it to you like this: who else values freedom more than a biker?
Well, I mean, I'm sure if you give me a week and I can, go on the Google machine to look some shit up, I'd find out. But for to generalize, you are right. As a lifestyle, as a group of people,
as a day-to-day way of life.
Oh yeah, no, without a doubt.
You know what I mean? Like,
without
you talk about all these fucking goofy ass fucking, Second Amendment fucking guys that want to pretend like they're in a militia and they want to LARP on the fucking weekends. Cool. But I mean, I'm talking about most bikers are Second Amendment guys too. Yeah. And not only do we not fucking put, Blue Lives Matter on our fucking bikes, and not only do we not fucking, simp for some fucking politician, we're like, no, fuck you, fuck society. We're going to do our own fucking thing. Leave us the fuck alone. If you start fucking with us, we're going to bring the fucking heat. Most fucking bikers are like that. Most real bikers are like that.
You're right. It's not like we changed. We don't like what we're wearing. I don't wear the welcome to the shit show, out in public a lot, but I like to keep it fresh.
I got the sweatshirt on. I'm up here in Wisconsin, man.
I like to keep it fresh for the show.
Degrees.
But what you see is what you get. I mean, we dress. Obviously, we're in a motorcycle club. We dress like we're in a motorcycle club. That's 24/7.
Yeah.
It's just, and the thing is that I go out in the public, and people get out of my way. They leave me the fuck alone, which is what I want anyway. I want to be left the fuck alone. And if somebody happens to come up to me and they want to start a conversation, they find out I'm actually a pretty affable guy. And I'm polite, I'll be polite. I'll be, what's the adage? Treat me good, I'll treat you better. Treat me bad, I'll treat you worse.
Let me put it to you like this, man. Most people know I fucking ride. Most people know I'm not to be fucked with. Yet I don't wear one fucking thing that says Harley Davidson.
I have a hat. We're both very similar in that. I've got a hat that's.
I do have a hat. I don't wear it anymore because it's kind of fucking worn out. But
I left mine up north. It's sitting outside of my garage.
Nice. But yeah, I don't. Yeah, I mean, but but then you see these fucking guys that have the Harley Davidson fucking stickers in the back windows of their trucks and the Harley Davidson fucking license plate, and they got their Harley Davidson jacket on still, and they're wearing the shirts and they're doing all this shit. And they want so bad for everybody to realize that they own a fucking motorcycle, but they don't fucking they don't walk the walk, they don't talk the talk.
Yeah, you don't have to advertise.
Huh?
You don't have to advertise. Anyway, go ahead. You run across.
Well, I don't have to advertise, but nonetheless, I mean, I guess I'm advertising just by who I am.
Well, that's exactly it.
People talk to me about political issues, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. And they're like, well, what do you mean you don't give a fuck? I mean, you have to pick a side,
No,
I mean, it's like, no, I don't care. Are they like, well, do you think Black Lives Matter is a good thing, or are you one of those all lives matter guys? And I say to them, hey man, I'm a no lives matter guy. Like, your life doesn't matter to me. I don't give a flying fuck what you do. Yeah. I don't give a shit. I don't care if you're black, green, or purple. Don't fuck with me. I won't fuck with you.
It's pretty
We'll
simple.
move on. Yeah. It's just so fucking easy. I don't fucking care. Yeah. I don't care if you want to tuck your shit back and call yourself Shirley with a 5 o'clock shadow. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Just leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah, you want to go to a boutique and buy your jeans and spend $120 for a pair of jeans? More power to you, man. You want to go out and buy the Harley socks and the Harley underwear and get your fucking little toy poodle, a fucking Harley shirt, go ahead. But I'm not going to do it. And I ain't going to judge you for it, but I'm going to certainly laugh at you for it. There's been many times we've been out and we'll see, we go to the biker functions, we'll see him out at the bar, and you'll see that guy. We can tell who they are right away. He's advertising all over the place. I think I've said
they're calling you brother. Yeah. Guarantee you they're calling you brother.
I think I've said it to you before. I'm like, yeah, I bet he's got the Harley socks too,
Hey, brother, man, I can't wait to ride again. Shit, brother.
Yeah, that or he's wearing all the shit and he's telling you how he would have joined a motorcycle club, but
they asked him. They asked him many times, and he was like, "No, I can't because of kids."
No, or nobody can tell me what to do.
Yeah, I nobody tells me when to ride my bike.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
That one, or then my favorite one is the other guy. Well, I'm going to get a Harley. I'm going to get a Harley guy.
I'm going to get a Harley guy is the best.
I love it. They really are. They're very entertaining,
Oh yeah, I was gonna get one, but the wife was like, being a bitch about it. So I was like, oh, whatever, but I'm gonna get one.
Well, that one guy we were at the old clubhouse, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get Harley's new bagger line," and I was like, "New bagger line? what? Really?" I'm like, "There's a bagger line? Really? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Man?
What are you talking about, man?"
I'm gonna get their new bagger line. Okay, let me know how that works out. Okay, whatever. I don't know, man. But we just want to be left the fuck alone. Let me live my life. Let me just be free to ride my machine, man.
Well, to wrap this up, bring this all home. The point is, you can be sober and be a biker. You can be, you can be a Christian fucking goody two shoes. I don't do anything wrong, and you can still be a biker. As long as you're down to ride and you're down to fucking watch out for the guy next to you, that's all that truly matters. Everything else is just fluff. Yeah. You know what I mean? Everything else is just fluff. Who gives a shit?
True enough, man.
So
true enough, man. So yeah, here I am 2.5 years into sobriety. Wrap it all up. Was it tough at the beginning? Yes. Did I miss it? Yes. Sometimes do I look at it and you guys are out there and you're drinking that good bourbon? Do I want to? Yeah. Am I gonna? No. Does it change who I am? No. Does it mean that I'm something less, than what I am? No. Because I think it means more that I'm staying true to myself and being who I am. Yeah. Instead of trying to be what I think people want me to be.
And that's what being a biker is all about anyways. Just be yourself.
Sir. Just be yourself, man.
All right.
Well, let's wrap this up, brother. I'll lead us out. How's that?
Sure.
Well, thanks a lot for sticking around, those that did it up till this point in time. And hey, let us know in the comments what you think about the new music at the end of the videos, if any of you were even watching it.
I've heard it. It's I like it. I'm a fan.
I'm a fan too, man. You got some closing credits there, and we're getting some consistency to it all, so that's kind of cool. For the end of the year, I'm planning on doing it'll be a YouTube release only. A little compilation of some of our more select moments in our now 81 episodes of the Bikers Lifestyle Podcast. So,
well,
there'll be some good ones in there.
Well, we have talked about it, and I'm going to try to figure out how to do it because I've had a couple different, I don't know, private DMs, whatever, people asking me about my bike, because we talk about it on here and I'll post about it on Instagram, this, that, and the other thing. And people will be like, dude, what the fuck, And I'm like, yeah, one of these days I'm going to do like a walk around video where I explain shit. So we're going to try to get more content out on YouTube exclusive, where it's more like behind the scenes type shit.
Sure.
But, it's just, dude, it's like trying to find the time, man. I mean, none of this that we're doing right now is our living. Like, I've got a full-time job and people I got to fucking take care of. And, oh, by the way, I'm a fucking president of a motorcycle club and yada, yada, yada. So we're working on it.
We have lives.
You know what I mean? We're fucking working on it, man.
we have lives. There's some guys out there pulling for us, trying to help us get some money off of this.
Yeah, and shout out to fucking, Hollywood and Saint Throttle and Black Dragon. All them dudes are trying to fucking steer us in the right direction.
Yeah,
but
thanks,
it's like,
guys.
It's like, man, I trying to fucking find that balance as a motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Boy, with everything, man, it's exactly it.
Guys talking about, oh, I got a full-time job and I got to do fucking YouTube and content. It's like, really? That's all you've got? Pussy.
Oh, well. Hey, we make it look good, but it ain't easy. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, it ain't that good and ain't that easy. So what are you going to do?
You skeptic. Jesus, come on. Lighten up, Francis, huh?
All right.
And shout out to Jethro with the newborn.
Yeah, Jethro, who named his kid Francis.
Like I had said, for the rest of his fucking life, the kid starts to get uppity. He can say, "Lighten up, Francis." I mean, that's freaking a win-win, man. That's a win-win.
Yeah, I'm gonna call him Frankie when he gets older.
Yeah, that's what he's calling him too. He was showing me a picture of the first book he bought for Frankie. It was Hooker and Blow Saves Christmas.
Yep. Yeah.
It's an actual kid's book. Look it up, folks.
I'm gonna start calling him Carmine just to fuck with him. But anyways.
All right, brother. Well, we'll be doing this again next week. And hey, everybody, thanks for sticking around. Just remember the most dangerous part in your fucking motorcycle is the nut that connects the seat to the fucking handlebars. Peace.